of control. Renekton has that ability. Riven has that ability. Jace has that ability. Even to a lesser extent, Malphite has that ability. You can build him pretty bursty.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Evia's Bay's champions don't have that ability so much. Like, they can definitely get an advantage and just, be solid in their lane, but they're not going to 1v9 a game just by themselves.
And as we've jumped in the champ select here,
we're jumping into champ select.
Shaco was the first ban. So, as we said, both these teams did get some scrim practice in against each other last week. Vantage does allow the first week of play to be just that scrim. So, while doing the research real quick, we didn't actually put any of the scrim results up because guess what? Those are just scrims. We hear all the time in the LCS. Certain teams just do great in scrims, and then doesn't matter how many times TSM can beat SKT, they can't leave group stage. So,
you have to bring up those memories. So they're going hard into the jungle with 2 jungle bans right off the bat.
So, as they said, the deep invades definitely has affected disadvantaged leaguers so far. So, Syndra coming out being that next ban for Atlas. Anything else you want to see coming out in particular? There's the Misfortune ban.
There's nothing that really jumps out to me. If there's something the mid lane doesn't like to play into, like, I personally hate playing into Azir on a lot of champions. I would throw a ban Azir's way. But Azir's pretty weak, and they've scrimmed twice, so maybe they've thrown an Azir out there. Ivern's always a good ban. Mm-hmm. Screw Ivern, he's so annoying and so shieldy.
We saw how strong Ivern was on Tuesday, the great play coming out in that game. So, first pick, I would say take the jungler here, or take something that's contested that was in the scrims, or get there's the Lulu. Good, strong, pretty one of the top 3-4 supports right now in the bot lane.
Do they play Lulu?
Yes.
Okay, well, I didn't see.
Well,
champion.
Once again, I only took the top 5 most played off their solo queue ranks. The stuff, as I said, I didn't look at their scrim results, even though they were available. I just didn't want to put too much emphasis on that and do something that look at what they're more consistent on, right? So, DJ Research has played pretty much the entire lineup of supports the last 2 seasons from top to bottom. I think has touched on all of them. Definitely a support main down there. So, Lulu versus Nami.
I like the Nami pick. Nami's solid disengage, good heal. I don't know if she can heal up more than Lulu can poke. I haven't been down in the bot lane very recently. But once lane phase ends, she can definitely help. Ooh, and a Warwick.
No, that's an interesting pick because as we talked about, I haven't pronounced it. Adroit Killer. I'm terrible with names, I guess, today.
Adroit Killer?
Adroit Killer? A droid killer?
There's a T in there.
There's a T. Most of his champions were heavy ganking champions, heavy impactful in lanes champions. Warwick's now does better ganks currently, but he's still kind of a farm till 6 type of guy, which is Executioner Squad's main style.
Yeah, I would say that Warwick has some good ganks if people are overextended. If people are not overextended, he is below average for sure. But if they are overextended, he is above average with that little Q leap. He can get over a minion, and his little blood scent doesn't give him a ton of move speed, but it gives him enough to get someone who's overextended.
And there's the Caitlyn for Death by Cows. That's something that we've seen him on consistently and does fairly well in that champion. Really comfortable on Caitlyn. And Caitlyn Lulu, that's a really strong poke in the bot lane. And then a blind Anivia pick. You're mid laner. What do you think about the blind Anivia pick?
Anivia's very strong right now. If you're good at her, you can blind pick her into pretty much anything. She's got a long auto attack range. But what I'm seeing is a siege comp. Lulu for the anti-engaged, Caitlyn trap, Anivia wall, Anivia ult. Like, I really hope the next two complement the Siege. Maybe a split pusher, and you could do a 1-3-1 with a split pushing jungle, split pushing top. You could get a team fight jungle coming in and split pushing top. You could do full team fight, but I would not really want to see one diver just by themselves. I really hope that they're picking for the team here.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Renekton and a Gragas, so
there we
two
go.
semi-divers, but the Gragas ult can definitely rearrange the team fight.
But that's something that Avante can control the top lane with, and be a lane bully. And if he can get far enough ahead, like the Kled did on Tuesday, we could see him come out of laning phase in a really good position. It all depends on what Eevee is bait. And there's the Shen locked in. Good, just solid tank, able to ult in on either your diving Warwick or save the Jhin.
For my 2 cents, this team comp for Atlas is going to be hard to pull off. It's going to require Ahri to hit a charm. Ahri is their initiate with that charm. If Warwick uses his ult when he's at full health, he loses a lot of healing. If a Warwick really wants to get down to where his passive kicks in before he ults someone, so he gets that quick heal back up to continue to be extremely tanky. Jhin does have some softer engage, but since that ult nerf, it is much less reliable.
Well, we'll check. I think Alice is going to go for the pick comps, right? I don't know if they'll be using Warwick necessarily to be that drain tank, but more likely if someone is caught out or separated from the sieging group, they're going to get picked off real quick with the long Jhin at range. The Warwick can engage from really far away. Shen can ult in onto the Warwick to help finish off the pick. Ahri has multiple dashes and a charm that she can land, and get that CC locked in just to blow someone up, and then once one person's gone, take it from there.
Now, what's your read on the top lane matchup? Renekton's taking TP, so there's no Ignite Renekton. Renekton versus Shin, what's it going to be?
Renekton's going to bully. Renekton's going to just push in, shove as hard as he can, clear out the minion waves, make Shen try and balance the fact of using his ult and teleport to get out of lane to help his teammates. But when he does that, Renekton has the ability to just punish and just crush lane if Shen doesn't make sure that that's set up properly. Something that's Charmello would always pick into me when I play Shen in top lane. He'd always pick the Renekton because A, he was really comfortable on it, and B, he was really good at shoving me in with it.
Now, can you get far enough ahead, just if both players play even, can you get far enough ahead on Renekton to counter the Shin ultimate advantage?
Yes, if you stun properly in late game split pushing situations. Otherwise, it's you just two brick walls running into each other.
Okay.
It's really boring to watch later on. But Shen has way more utility in the late game than Renekton, and so if this goes way later, the split pushing gets stronger and stronger for Shen.
And something that I'm just going down through the champs here, it looks like top lane there could be some action, and bot lane there's either going to be a ton of action or just farming, because Jhin will outdamage Caitlyn, but Lulu will outdamage Nami. So they're either going to go at it, or they're going to have a gentleman's agreement of, we're pretty even. I think that the Caitlyn Lulu lane has an advantage because of Caitlyn, but if Nami hits a bubble, then the match gets very explosive very quickly.
One of the things I find interesting here is right before we get in, Anivia took exhaust and so did Lulu, so there's no ignite on this team versus a Warwick who, like we said earlier, can be that drain tank and just large sustain coming in. Ahri has a heal on her. Nami has it. There's multiple heals. Shen can have a heal. There's going to be a lot of healing and lifesteal coming from Atlas. It's something
Anivia's
that they
first item's going to be a Morello. Her first completed. It'll be tier Morello. Unless she's going for super scaling, in which case it'll be tier Roa finished here in Morello.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't play a ton of Anivia anymore, but I feel the build takes too long to come online. Even Cassiopeia doesn't go that build anymore.
Well, it's just gonna all depends on how well Anivia is gonna play defense. I just don't know because of the exhaust nerfs that did come out in the last two patches ago. I'm just not sure if it's gonna be good enough because it's not. I mean, it's still reducing some damage.
They've got
but
the 2 exhausts for the Warwick because when Warwick gets in your team, he does a crazy amount of damage. While not dying and not building damage.
Okay, so as we load up here, let's announce our players yet again. Up top, or the disadvantaged leaguers on the blue side, we got Avante Guard playing Renekton on the new toy skin. Nice job, Avante. It's a great little dinosaur character there. Executioner Squad on Gragas. The Big T playing Anivia. Death by Cows on Caitlyn. DJ Research doing the Lulu. Down in the bottom lane, we have Eevee is Bay on Shen. Bottom lane. On the bottom team.
Team Atlas.
Team Atlas for the red side there. Shen in the top lane is being played by Eevee is Bay. Chat keeps trying to pronounce Adoy Killer. Apparently it's French. I don't speak French.
We speak American around here.
And Spanish, terribly. The Prophet in mid lane on Ari. Ezreal is, not playing Ezreal. Disappointed in that slightly. On the Jhin and AD carry. And Mellow Extra on support Nami. So we're going to be loading up here in just a moment. And
or is it Mel Oxtra?
It's Mellow Extra.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
And
neither team has a significant level. I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 fans.
Yeah, I don't know about the level 1, but once again, this is the technically 3rd match in as many weeks we've seen from them.
Oh, there's some action from DVL.
They are pinging. It looks like they are going to do an invade here. We'll see how this gets set up. These teams know each other well. There is a game plan.
Atlas is sniffing it out. They know something's up.
Atlas is the one doing the invade. And no one's come through Tribush, and they've got 2 great wards. Great ward placement early coming in by Atlas on the camps there. Oh no. Oh, perfect ward placement by the Jhin. He did not pull a Skara. He is safe and gone. So the ward's coming out. And now Ari's placing. Did she get hers on blue buff? She's thinking about it.
She should not place that ward because if they see him at red. She should not place that ward.
That's not needed. Re playing. Looking here. They pinging out Renekton. Great placement. Deep vision from Atlas. Should get them some very good knowledge on who's where and what the situation is. Looks like standard bot side starts for the junglers as we take a look at the lanes. Probably going to be a slow farm lane in the mid lane here until some action. Anivia's can be kind of hard to kill early on, especially because of that egg form top lane. We'll see how fast Renekton can push in the Shen there, and bot lane is probably where our action's going to be first off, and see who can get the level 2s here as Nami is taking some poke.
That Nami took a lot of poke. That's good Lulu play, being nice and aggressive. Pretty quiet so far. I actually kind of expected a little bit more, but it's okay. They're still warming up.
Gragas may be going for a level 2 get. Nope, just came down, did the Krugs instead of going back up. Spends a little bit of extra time doing the clear, but it is relatively safe compared to his bot lane, especially if he's expecting to...
got a trap. Trap to the face. They didn't follow up on it too hard, though.
That crit onto Lulu, though, really strong coming out early. So, standard clear so far, and we may have see our first gank.
From Warwick.
We've already seen pings, and there's...
Is he going for it? Oh, he's going for it.
Here it comes, and there's a great taunt coming out from Shen into the fear from Warwick. Slice and dice coming out from Renekton. He's probably going to be able to escape. Yes, he is gone. No flash burn from Renekton, but
here's an invade.
Does have the burn
Dapper was saying earlier.
The vision gets down to Renekton, comes into, he's not in a good situation. He's going to have to, flash coming out from Rourke. Not going to be able to finish that. Hits the blast clone to get out of there. Good invade, but, Rourke was actually the only one that burnt flash. So, other than delaying.
Not great invade. He didn't have lane priority, and the Gragas stopped his camp immediately to go help the Renekton.
Well, it does burn more potions from the Renekton, keeping this Shen able to sustain in lane, who has gone with the Reju beat build.
Lane, there's oh no, they avoided it. Nami had hit a bubble in bot lane, and bot lane's pretty volatile at this moment.
Anivia is down to under 150 HP as she took a full combo from Ahri. Just something that she does have egg, but something that can be worrisome, as we'll see Warwick going back top yet again. He's using that speed boost he gets from his E there, the Primal Howl, I guess the Blood Hunter on his W.
Good game plan by Atlas to keep the Renekton down, but excellent play by Avant-Garde.
This is looking really strong by Avant-Garde. He's that early ganks and pressure that Renekton's been forced out of lane, hasn't been able to push in the Shen. Shen's been able to get the CS lead and sustain it, and just be able to survive this early game where Renekton should be able to bully him out. And with that done, that the weaker Renekton stays, the stronger Shen will be later.
Yeah, and that's a good game plan, like I said, but excellent Renekton play to eat 3 ganks already and not even blow flash. Maybe in one of those ganks he could have blown his flash in order to keep more health, but I think when you know you're going to be targeted, you want to hold on to your flash as long as you can while you have the teleport up. And then once teleport, gank coming in bot lane.
And Nami misses the bubble. Gragas comes in with a nice barrel, lands the E onto Nami and a W, and Jin's able to get a crit shot to get the speed move to escape. Lulu was not there. She had to take some because she had been taking poke. So Warwick hits the side plant here as he goes for the Scuttle Crab to give vision to his allies. As we see Nivea has gotten kind of back up some health and mana in this lane, but still not in the strongest situation against the Ahri.
No, and you really have to be a very good Anivia player to bully out the Ahri. You can do it, but you have to land your Q pre-6. That's the only way you can harass pre-6 other than autos, which is a good form of harassment, but is nothing compared to the Ahri combo if she can land a charm.
As the bot lane's finally pushed in by Death by Cows, he's gonna back. Hopefully should have enough gold for a BF sword there. Yeah, should be able to get
now,
that.
the Renekton has caught
for the
back up in
pickaxe.
farm. Jungle farm looks pretty even. Mid farm, definite Ahri advantage, but I would say late game, Anivia is just better than Ahri. Ahri has a great mid game though. How do you think the scaling goes between these two teams, Amo?
I think it slightly favors Team Atlas. Warwick becomes a little bit more tankier than the Gragas. As we see, Nami gets hit with and stunned from Anivia in the Glacial Shroud there. Takes a lot of damage, and she's gonna have to back, which puts Jin in a hard situation because they just got back to lane a little bit. Although they do have the vision control on this early dragon.
The Warwick's going for it.
Warwick has enough sustain, does have the Tiamat already, should be able to take this pretty simply. But Shen is level 6 in top lane in an okay spot if he does need to ult down to the bot.
Yeah, that's just a free dragon with no vision. The vision of Mellow Extra and team really paying off.
Yeah, their control so far of the vision, and a
Oh!
bubble does land, but the minion steps right in front of the strut as the Jin ult comes out, not going to be able to finish one off. Caitlyn does get exhausted, flashes out, not in time. There's the flash W from Jin. Here comes Warwick. Only level 5. Minion wave is not here. Flash and heal down from the AD carry, flash down from the support. This is not looking good for Death by Cows and DJ Research. They're probably going to have to back off here.
Luckily, the Warwick left, but they don't know that, so
Yeah.
this is very risky of them.
It is the trade going on in the bot lane, as now Nami just keeps laying the poke down with other AD carry, and she goes down to less than 75 HP, barely survives that one. She's definitely going to have to back now, and with that back, should be a good situation for Caitlyn and Lulu. Maybe stick around and catch another wave or two.
Yeah, it looks like the Lulu is backing as well, so a little bit of a rough lane for Caitlyn. She's down. After this, she'll be down about 10 CS, assuming that she farms those. But
We do see that Anivia is picking up the blue buff from Gragas in this early phase, so the dragon control by all the pink wards down here in the bottom half of the map for Team Atlas definitely got them great control down there, but it doesn't allow them to stop Anivia from getting blue, and the more times Anivia can get blue, the harder it is going to be for them to push into her.
oh, are we seeing another top gank?
We might. Everyone's flashes are up. Gragas is showing up here. Just lays down a ward just to help a little bit of protection, knowing that the second buff rotation does put both junglers in the top half of the map. Is Nami, after another deep vision, 2 deep wards coming out from the Nami down there to try and keep eyes on Gragas. This has been a relatively slow early game with small manipulations and leads taken in multiple places, but nothing substantial enough other than that dragon.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are just... I guess we'll see which team actually does outscale.
Lulu has been hit by the Nami
bubble.
bubble and has to flash out, so she does not get finished off by the Jin. Not in a good situation. The support down here without her AD carry. Caitlyn's now here. Did not have the back earlier. Didn't have enough to get that BF swords. Picked up the pickaxe and has gone for the pickaxe. Now the attack speed items, as we see Ari laying down a lot more poke onto this Nivea, who has gone for the double Doran's ring into tier build. How do you think that's going to go for this line? Just more sustain?
She just backed with an awkward amount of gold and grabbed that extra ring. Oh, we've got some action in the river.
It looks like some teams are fighting over vision here. We see multiple pinks in the way. And there's the Jin ult going to open up as Gragas misses the ult onto Ari as the wall comes out. Jin does hit a final shot onto Caitlyn. Shen has ulted in onto Ari, and that is going to be a dead Lulu caught out. And there's Warwick ulting in onto Anivia, flashes
Good
out.
disengage by the Gragas.
Gragas, nice body slam to interrupt that channel of Warwick. Varnectin has now roamed down here, wasn't in a position in top lane to push in, maybe looking to pick off Shen, as Shen goes back up. Nice stun into the slice and dice with the Q, but not enough to really push Shen out of there. Shen already has the Ninja Tab Eye and a Chain Vest. Really strong for the Shen up top, getting that much armor this early in the game and keeping up in CS, as we now see Nami. Oh no, Caitlyn doesn't have any support or wards, and she's going to go down to Ez is real.
Now, that kill was completely set up by those deep wards. Caitlyn was greedy, but they saw Caitlyn walk over the red ward. And yeah, that was just a case of being a little bit too greedy, and the first tower goes over to Team Atlas.
And as we've seen, that deep vision, especially coming out on this bottom half of the map from Team Atlas, as they look to place down even more vision. Let's look to see their vision here. Look at their bottom half of this map. We got, well, I guess, Jin traps plants as well. Also,
the Gragas is going in.
Gragas, that's going to be a dead champion.
Good layering of CC, and almost not quite a trap on the Warwick there.
Warwick tries to use the Q
They're
to
still
get
going
out of
after
there.
him.
Not a stun that lands. Charm does land onto Lulu. Q comes out. W as they
Oh, are they gonna
escape.
fight? They're okay, never mind. False alarm, folks. False alarm. And we've got another Mountain Drake coming up.
It's already pink warded for the red team there.
And we are seeing why Team Atlas had the #1 ranked support in VPR last season. This warding is on point.
Look at this, boots mobility and sightstone already before he even finished any of his other items. He's looking to keep that division, that control, especially with the coordination of when the Warwick was going to be on the half of the map, trying to get in the vision together as Nami is back here
Ari.
yet again. No, she did die for it the last time she placed forward. She's too far forward again. So sometimes, getting the most vision down also means you're the most dead, because if you're a squishy support like Nami, you're going to get caught out, as Ari is now dashing around. Warwick ult comes out and it's going to be able to put the egg onto Nivea and gets Lulu ulted to knock out, but not enough, too much damage, as the carry's able to finish off the egg right as Dragon spawns. So this is going to be the second Mountain Dragon for Team Atlas.
So
Jin's going to get this nice double wave down here. Ari's going to be able to push yet another wave into tower here to push this Anivia slightly further back, as Anivia has gone for the super scaling build of Tyr and Roa, which she hasn't finished yet.
I'm not a huge fan of Tyr Roa. I know it gives her infinite wave clear, but you've got a Caitlyn and a Lulu. You don't need infinite wave clear. You need the earlier Morellos. But she's just going for a super late game that will scale much harder than just a Tyr.
And we see Nami already up here with the
can get
boots
there.
of mobility, trying to lay down some deep vision and set it up, as there is a pink ward now placed by Vanguard. He's going to be able to finish off and take out that one. Just trying to help protect her top laner, as we see blue buff handed off yet again to Anivia. They know where those buffs are being transferred over, as now we see the support up here. And the AD carry's coming up here along this lane as well. Shin taunts
Renekton
in.
bit off a little more than he
Yes,
could
he
chew.
did. He has to dash out. Now that the 88 carry is swapped up here, look to watch Shen go down to the bot lane to continue to push that in. And Gragas finishing off a pink ward in the Tribush has to queue out. And he's going to get rooted in by the Jin W there. Nice ult to disengage, as they're just going to be able to run away. They're only going to take this pink ward as their prize.
Yeah, there was a lot of commotion, but action.
Oh, geez,
As I
they're
say
not
that-
waiting. Anivia is jumping right in. It looks like Warwick just ulted
going.
to jump out, as there's the slice and dice, but no dash ults coming out from all of the champions here. And Renekton is going to go down, as no one can get onto Jin to stop him, as Ari is coming up from the backside, took out the Caitlyn, was busy watching the top half of the map, and now walls to protect the rest of the team, as these three champions are running from that's Ari now. Oh, the flash re-engages. Ari has to flash over the Caitlyn traps, but it is a 3v0 up here on this tower. It's going to go down fast, especially if DisadVantage Leaguers doesn't back off.
Yeah, the Ari was a little bit disjointed from her team, but her distraction did let them get that top turret, so in the end, good play.
And they're going to probably push in here onto this tier 2. No, those look like they're going to be back with the respawns, as they tried to push in Ari. They need the reset, right? So DisadVantage Leaguers, they've given up 6 kills, 2 dragons, top, and look at that. That is 1, if you want to count Scuttle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The map looks like a pincushion.
It does.
So,
I mean, this red team vision
supports
is
who are
looking
watching
really
this game-
good right where they just left.
Any supports watching this game, watch this Nami. Don't go quite as aggressive, only go in ward when you have lane priority, which means your lane is pushed to their turret. But this Nami is, besides getting caught out, she is knowing the correct places to ward, and her team is helping her ward too. This is a team warding win right here.
And all their wards are aggressive in the forward, right? They're in the position of controlling the map at the moment as Gragas is being chased down by the Nami. But all of the wards from disadvantaged leaguers are all defensive. When we looked at their map, their pink is in the Tribush, their pink is by race. None of their wards are forward. They don't see any of the invades coming. They don't see anything coming at them unless it's already there on top of them. So all the forward ward placement's really going to help them move them progress, because they now have to try the siege on this mid tower against an Anivia, and that's going to be particularly hard.
But we do have a 5k gold lead at 20 minutes, which is definitely nothing to sneeze at.
No, and this Jhin in particular is really ahead of the Caitlyn. As we look there, the Jhin is 2.5k up on Caitlyn in gold, so that's where a lot of that gold is. And the cheaper item going for the lethality build still on Jhin means he's already completed one item plus boots and working on his second, where Caitlyn has completed absolutely nothing, right?
Caitlyn needs a BF sword. You can't get a Hurricane without a BF sword. You do no damage.
And Dragon's coming up in a minute and a half as Shen is now pushing in a nice wave here into this tier 2. Gragas is over on this side, hopefully just to clear out some farm, maybe protect his side. Is the Atlas looks like they're gonna step back and get some wards, get some items, and reset, and probably come back down here for this Dragon. Shen's probably going to go back to top lane, push that back in, and be ready to ult in if needed.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Shin go bot lane right now, because Dragon's up in a minute. Once Dragon is down, there's no objectives bot lane, but I guess since it's coming back up, you're correct. Top lane's the place to be.
Caitlyn is trying to push this lane out as there's yet another excellent placed ward here. Only going to see people in this small little section, but that's all they need to see, especially because they have that warded. As Ahri comes in with the ult and misses the charm as Lulu flashes over the wall, but that's going to give excellent secure to this Dragon area. Shen's just going to hold off as Gragas with the body slam in onto Nami and the ult for the disengage, and Warwick's just going to be able to run away. Ahri backed after burning all her ult in top lane. They still have control of the Dragon area, but that's still 25 seconds away.
Yeah, that was
they tried to get
that was actually a pretty good fight. I was going to say it was anticlimactic, but Team Atlas went up as a unit, established vision in DVL's jungle in preparation for the Dragon that is about to spawn. They didn't back quite early enough, but let's say they backed 20 seconds earlier. That would have been a perfect ward back to Dragon.
As we see the top laners just sort of fighting it out up here, and while Renekton has gained a CS lead, it has not been enough as Lulu was caught by a bubble. There's one Jhin ult, there's two Jhin ult, Nami with the steal with the auto. That's another pick right as Dragon spawns. Looks like we have an Ocean Drake this time. But this should be another easy Dragon for
with
Atlas.
that pick, the Lulu was a little bit overextended, but her team was not there helping her establish vision for Dragon. You need to either, as a team, be saying, okay, we're going to give this Dragon up, no one even worry about warding it, or you all need to help establish vision. And DVL just did not do that, and their support got hung out to dry.
And I think the split push needs to be really established now by Atlas. Pushing in against this Anivia is not going well. This tower's been at half health for the last, I'm going to say, 10 minutes.
No, this is the infinite mana build on Anivia, and she has blue. You're not just straight up pushing a tower against her.
And there's more vision. Scuttle Crab and the Sight Plant there hit for Atlas. So, like I said, this team vision, this is the Renekton trying to bully out the Shen as Warwick comes up here to try and finish the gank off his Slice and Dice. Not going to be able to get Renekton away as the flash comes out. There's a dead top laner who's trying to push the action to help his team.
Yeah. I mean, you really want to help your team, but when you don't have backup and you don't have wards, it helps your team out more when you're not dead. So I understand wanting to help your team, wanting to relieve pressure, but when you try just a little bit too hard, you make it worse.
Now we have both bot laners, Caitlyn and Lulu, down here in
looks
lane.
Like we're setting up
I don't
for
think
mid-lane
that's going to be good, as Gragas is just trying to collect any farm he can. Anivia is probably going down. There's the ult. They're just going to try and jump ever. Great Gragas ult to get, Jhin out of there, but not enough. His work followed the dive in, finished off the Gragas, and there's the sun coming out. Anivia does have egg, I believe, as she goes down, but Rourke's going to fall to Renekton. But that is a 4v2 down in bot lane because the Lulu and Caitlyn are still down in the bottom half of this lane, and that finishes off yet another kill for Atlas as Renekton's trying to push the pressure here now that Lulu's here to help, and Caitlyn's trying to take out this bottom tower. It's not going to be enough though, as she's now going to be in trouble. It's only in Nami right now.
But Jin's coming back too. What?
She's going to try and suicide, but that's not going to be in a good spot because
she got greedy.
She did. She's going to be stuck. Shen should be able to help pick this one up. Great W, and that's taunt and dead. So didn't have the damage or the attack speed to take down that bottom tower. And wasn't able to rotate up the help. Should have probably backed off soon as she saw the enemy team run away from the Renekton.
Yeah, the initial call for the AD to be bot lane was not horrible. The support should have gone mid when there's no one contesting the bot lane, and the AD should have backed off sooner. That was just they're still feeling out their rotations, I feel like, because they know what they need to do. They're just a little disjointed as to how many people to bring and when to back off.
Yeah, and this is something that's working really specifically well, unlike as we see Nami getting 2 deep vision wards, making sure that they have control of this blue side jungle, and Warwick is kind of caught out, but he should be able to escape this. He just ults instead on the Renekton. Jin's going to follow up with the damage. Teleport coming out from Shen as Nami's going to be able to get in there and help finish off the Lulu. 4th shot from Jhin, I believe, is what's going to take it, as with all of the ults spent, they probably should, I think they can take Dragon, because they have, or Baron, sorry, they have all the vision.
They're going for it. I mean, they and Kate was bot lane, so they know that the enemy team doesn't have an AD that can come, and they have vision to back off from
this is
Baron
also
if they need
the
to.
blue side vision. There is no wards anywhere close to this Baron pit, right? As we see the closest wards the Tribush, or maybe the pink ward all the way up here, as we now see 4 champions funnel through this Tribush, trying to get onto Renekton, who slices past the Jhin W as they just trying to waste time so Caitlyn gets some type of ambient gold for their team.
Yeah, Caitlyn should have backed. It's
now,
good to push out your lanes for Baron, but now you don't have an AD to defend your turret.
And now there's a blue buff gone from Anivia. Would have liked seeing that a little bit earlier, but so much control coming out from Atlas as they've now pretty much taken everything. Caitlyn is just going on a mission up there to just say, you know what, team, we need to get some type of gold. Please hold with the Anivia ult and just spam away as Lulu takes a charm to the face, and that's a dead Yordle.
Yeah, this is looking pretty rough. The DVL, they've got Anivia so they can stall, but
now Renekton takes a charge as ult comes out from Gragas. They are able to pick off onto Ahri, and Caitlyn is taken down the tower in bot lane as now Nami's the one getting ulted on, and down goes the Nami there as 3 champions here able to hold off against 3, because I guess Warwick decided to he pieced out on that one and took the mid tower. Caitlyn is going full force on this tower. It's gone full 80 carry split push. It looks like double lift in season 2 playing Graves. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe not that.
Maybe not.
because
it got her some important gold.
There's a pause coming out. Caitlyn doesn't have a cigar. That Graves had a cigar, so I can't move on the.
Oh no! I know exactly what those lock screen issues are. You have to unlock your screen, and left click on the map.
It's a pause.
But yeah, in all chat they're saying they have the locked screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. For the viewers, I have the all chat turned off, so we don't get any any hi moms on the chat. Although that would be pretty cool if one of the players did have their family members all watching. So, okay, so they took Baron, they got some kills, or they took the Baron and they took some towers, but then they died and lost the Baron on a couple of their key members. What does Team Atlas do? Sorry, tripping over my tongue.
You stall. That's all you can do.
No, Team Atlas is in the lead. Like what? Like how do you push
Team
in?
Atlas.
Team Atlas. Like how do you close it out? Because teams are really good at getting an early lead, but sometimes pushing in, especially against something like a champion like Anivia, is really hard unless
you can do a 1-3-1 with DVL or against DVL with Atlas. You get Shin and Ari as your ones, and then the other three stay as a unit. I mean, it's not an ideal 1-3-1, but it'll do. They're far enough ahead; they can do it.
Mm-hmm. And Dragon is spawning like right as the pause came out. So, depending on what Dragon this is, DVL technically hasn't lost any inhibitors yet. Would you try and defend this? Would you try and stop it? It is only an air Drake, but it would be their 4th Dragon of the game.
I think you got to give it.
I mean, War can pretty much just solo the Dragon right now. There's no necessarily, as we see, Shen gonna split push up top with some
If DVL loses a fight, they lose the game. There's no reason to contest a Dragon that's not Elder that could lose you the game.
Mm-hmm. And DVL, for one thing, has now started to establish, like we said, they've run all defensive vision so far. And the defensive vision for a team being behind has been pretty good. It just hasn't been good enough compared to the hard aggression vision coming out from Team Atlas.
DVL, their vision earlier was lacking, and that's how Atlas got their lead. And now their vision is much better.
As a flash ult from Wark is gonna miss, as now Gragas misses ult, and Ari's going to get almost taken out as now Wark and Jin finish off the Gragas. The long range from Jin taken out is now Anivia is trying to lay down some poke, and Flash coming in. There's the ult coming out. Chet coming out with the ult, and down goes Lulu, down goes Caitlyn. There comes the redemption. That's not going to be good enough work. Stuck between the wall and the tower. His ult comes in from Renekton. I don't think that's going to be enough, though. His bubble lands on the alligator. Down goes that champion. This is going to be about powered up Baron minions. This could be the game. Anivia doesn't have enough mana. I think this may be it.
Yeah, they could go for it. They should go for at least one tower. Play it by ear. Gragas is up soon. Lulu's up soon. It depends on how aggressive they want to be. They can go for it if they want.
I believe they just lost Baron up as they're pushing in onto the second tower, so they may not be able to have time to finish it as Anivia is trying to wall them off and push them to the left here, so they don't have a good spot to go other than run through that tower. Ari's going to come back and try and lay down. Nami taking the Caitlyn ult to the face, but Caitlyn's just now have 2 items, doesn't deal enough damage. Jin W comes out. Nami on her way out, placing vision, trying to make sure that they can come back to this section if necessary.
Ooh, this is bad. So Team DVL has no healing reduction at all. There's no Morello. There's no executioners. This is getting to be a big problem. That was
one of the things we talked about in the pregame was were they gonna have any healing reduction, or B where's it gonna come from? Well, like you said, no Morello's on Anivia. I think Renekton may have to sacrifice a little bit of tankiness to get the executioner.
Caitlyn instead of boots should be getting executioners.
But she's not. She's going for more attack speed. She is really far behind though. Behind this Jin. I mean,
Yeah, when
she's
you're this far behind, you just need to, as a
4,000.
team, make your decision of, okay, Caitlyn, you will scale eventually, but right now you have to help out the team, take a little bit of a step back with damage, but you're going to get the healing reduction. You're going to apply it to 3 people at a time with your Runons, and you're going to help the rest of the team kill people.
As we see Gragas going in for some extra damage as the charm misses onto Lulu. She's going to have to flash away as there were
That
2
was a
carries
good flash.
right in her face. And there goes down the vision that they had just placed. Renekton has taken up control of pushing in the bottom wave as he has, the teleport to counteract it.
Jhin with the blue steel.
Oh,
Although
jeez.
he
Teleport.
is,
He got stuck. There is a excellent Anivia wall coming out. And now the ult from Caitlyn with the Anivia. Good control. Anivia laying down some excellent walls this game, trying to keep her team in it with the ability to force off and use that disruption in terrain to their advantage. As we now see 3 people, and that's going to dash into the Gragas. And there's the Lulu ult coming up. And in Redemption, as we see coming down, the tanks are all fighting in the front line. Anivia and Caitlyn just trying to lay down as much damage as possible. Renekton is finally going to go down to the Shen, but he was stuck on that side, once again on the other side of the Anivia wall. Couldn't escape as Anivia takes down that champion. And now Ari maybe trying to look to get off a pick.
Looking for it 2v3.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to delay 4 times for the super minions down here in the bot wave to take down the turret, and down goes that tower. Yep, as the Fear probably going to come out here, and once again a wall pushing off the war can't escape. Is now Exhaust coming out onto Arya. She's trying to dash around. Anivia has egg up form, and ult not enough, trying to make sure Anivia stays alive, but we have super minions hitting on the Nexus down there. We may have see some minions work able to sustain through this fight, as now see Nami is back. She was the original champion pick in the fight, and Anivia's Jhin ult comes up as Charm misses onto Lulu. Jhin ult is firing, laying down Luden's procs coming out from Ari, and Warwick's able to jump onto the Caitlyn. That's going to be enough as a wall finally pushes off the Warwick. Not seen here, as we now see Shen teleporting down to this tower to try and make sure that the minion stays alive so they can finish off that one. All as Baron just spawned. Wow, that was a lot really fast.
Yeah, that was actually a very good play by Atlas. I completely forgot about the minions, as did DVL, and Atlas kept going in the 2v3. DVL was like, oh, we've got numbers, we can win. But Atlas was just kind of snickering because they were not getting caught, and the minions were taking turrets.
Anivia is on wave clear duty down in the base right now as a 5-man Atlas team just straight up takes Baron, and they may be looking to go and take another dragon. They have 50 seconds to take this dragon before Elder spawns if they want to get a second.
Why would they take dragon?
Because Elder will spawn after they still get 50 more seconds. Another air drake.
They should just win right now. There's nothing stopping them.
It's always an option.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah,
good job by Warwick taking out the cupcake so that none of the carries eat it. Those carries just love to munch on the cupcakes.
The bottom lane inhibitor has been respawned, so we don't have any supers pushing them in. And Jin's just going to straight up start ulting as Gragas throws his ult out after Jin had stopped it. Ults kind of cancel each other out here, but that's not now going to be able to use for displacement. As Ari's gone down to the bot lane, that makes sure that's Baron empowered up here as Jin and Nami comes out. And Gragas goes down, and Warwick's going to try and get onto Caitlyn. Lulu has to ult herself to try and stay alive as Redemptions come out. Not going to be enough. And the toy alligator runs back to base, and that is game 1 taken by Atlas. Early vision right from level 1. Allowed their champions to be in the right place at the right time. Even if they didn't make the correct plays, they were there way more often than disadvantaged leaguers. And that just made excellent easy dragons, easy towers, better rotations, because they knew where they were going and when they were going there, and it just clicked way better for them.
Yep, go ahead, go look at the damage chart that tells the story of the game. Just take a look. So Anivia dealt a boatload of damage, as did Ari, but on the whole, the teams were pretty even. What really happened was the extra vision from Atlas allowed them to utilize that damage much more effectively where they needed it to get kills and get towers. Like, just humor me real quick and go to the damage graph.
The graphs.
Yeah,
Graphs.
just click on the graphs.
Damage to champions?
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, and yeah, the Jhin beat the Caitlyn by 10,000, but overall, it lines up pretty well. It's just Atlas was able to use it strategically, finish off those kills, be in the right position because of their vision.
Mm-hmm. And that starts it all off as the teams. Now, Nami did get caught a couple of times, but that was 44 regular wards placed with 9 vision wards placed. Now, Lulu did a reasonable job herself. Gragas helped out with you because he had the green trinket, each placing about 30 wards. But all of those were defensive wards. None of those where we see the active gaining vision, seeing the enemy team do stuff. Whereas Nami and Warwick's deep invades, getting the vision cones, the scuttle crabs. I think scuttle crab that I remember looking over and vision plant that was hit were all done by Team Atlas, and sometimes it's just those little things that you do repeatedly that lead to big advantages that help your team win.
You know what I'm surprised at? DVL actually destroyed a lot of wards. Like, props to them. When you're behind, it is hard to destroy wards, but after playing Team Atlas, they understand how important that vision is, and they're working on it. I feel like give Team DVL another, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks here, and I think they'll come around.
Yep, it's definitely something that is a team effort that needs to be done. Vision is not just a one-man pony show. This isn't Season 2 support where they have 5 wards in one item slot, 5 wards in another item slot, and
the good old days.
And 5 pink wards on another item slot, right? This is this season where you only do get 3 wards out at a time plus your 1 pink. So great job from game 1. Executioner Squad told us in the preview game what to look for, and it came true, right? He said that they had a plan and they knew what they were going up against, and it was this particular thing that he said to look for, and we looked for it, and we saw it play out, and they just haven't quite got to the point where they can counter it yet. And so hopefully they can take a breather here in a couple minutes and get a new maybe game plan in. Maybe they need to be the team doing an invade. Like, how would you? I mean, in my opinion, they need to be more proactive. Do you agree with that?
I feel like if they do a standard fan and just keep the enemy team from easily getting deep wards at level 1, and then I think that DVL needs to be playing an even harder push lane, like maybe throw in a Sivir or throw in a Karma, someone who can really help push, and then roam to get wards, because that Nami was actually able to roam and get wards way more often than she should have, because they were able to push up in that lane. I think that DVL's bot lane, maybe they're just not quite meshing yet, or maybe Atlas's bot lane has just meshed incredibly well, and they're just not going to be able to match them. But instead of trying to duke it out 1v1, just pick a lane that can auto-shove, decline to lane, get your wards down, play for the team. What would you do, Amo?
I would go for deep invade level 1. I would also agree. You need to play something that's a little bit more. When you have an aggressive top laner like Renekton in a strong poke lane into kind of a Healy champion like Nami in bot lane, you have 2 lanes that kind of want to push, but then you have a champion like Anivia who kind of collects the farm in front of her as it comes in, and you have that CLG EU problem where 2 lanes are doing one thing and 1 lane's doing something else, and sometimes it just it just doesn't work, right? The Gragas can either try and go top and help pressure that situation, or the Gragas can go bot to help with that, but coming mid doesn't seem the synergy in the early game where the vision was the most drastically different doesn't necessarily help, right? So as you said, like the mid priority, making sure Anivia is the one pushing would be stronger, right? So like
I don't know if you're gonna get an Anivia to push. I don't. The Anivia.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Anivia is the problem. I'm saying the style is not necessarily.
I don't even think the mid laner style was the problem. It was a lot of the Atlas's support was able to sneak out of lane more than she should have, just because they were pushed up. So if you can keep her in lane because you know how much of a warder she is, you know, that's kind of funny to say it, but Atlas's support player had the most influence early mid game on the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the vision that she had, they knew exactly where that Gragas was. So play to counter her. Keep her in lane. Keep them under turret and take away their biggest strength.
Mm-hmm. Definitely spend a gank down there or two. So real quick, we're going to give our voices a breather here as the teams, if they should be able to jump into the next game here. I'm just going to throw up a little bit more music and kick it back to the title screen here. So hopefully we'll be back here in 3 to 5 minutes.